Hello, Tottenham supporters. If you're passionate about our Spurs and want to stay updated with every thrilling moment, here's a quick but crucial request. We're on a mission to hit 4,000 subscribers, and you can make it happen. Just click that subscribe button now. It's quick, free, and ensures you never miss a second of the action. Let's reach this milestone together, and don't forget to stick around until the end of the video for all the latest news you won't want to miss. Tottenham's 1-0 defeat to Chelsea last Saturday in the Premier League made it clear that there was a sense of frustration around the club. Thomas Frank, the team's manager, did not hide his disappointment with the performance of his players and acknowledged that the team performed well below expectations. He mentioned that frustration is a natural part of football and emphasized that after a loss like this, the best approach is to stay calm and work on understanding what went wrong. For Frank, the team failed to respond adequately to the pressure imposed by Chelsea, which resulted in a performance lacking the energy and intensity needed to compete at a high level. One of the most notable failures in the game was Tottenham's inability to cope with Chelsea's high press, something that had been worked on during the week. Frank acknowledged that although the team managed to control some of that pressure after the first few minutes, Chelsea's goal created a vicious cycle where Tottenham was always chasing the game, playing with more desperation and failing to impose a positive rhythm. This loss of control further affected the players' confidence and decision-making, and they failed to create clear-cut chances, as reflected in the low number of shots and poor offensive output. Regarding the individual performances of players like Mickey van der Ven and Jed Spence, Frank expressed understanding for the athletes' frustration but highlighted that, despite their good performances this season, consistency is something that needs to be maintained both in good and bad moments. The manager seemed more focused on the collective approach, suggesting that despite some individual performances falling below expectations, he did not see a specific issue with those players but rather with the overall way the team performed on the pitch. This shows a leadership style focused on team building, where the emphasis is not solely on players' mistakes, but on the need for adjustments as a unit. Another important aspect Frank addressed was the team's offensive creation. The number of chances created, or rather, the lack of them, was something the manager did not overlook. He stated that he had never managed a team that created so little in a game and admitted that Tottenham needs to improve in this area, which will be analysed further. The extremely low XG, expected goals, clearly reflects the lack of real attacking threats, a direct consequence of a team that struggled to organise itself offensively and failed to exploit Chelsea's weaknesses. The departure of Lucas Bergvall, who suffered a concussion during the game, also had an impact on the team's strategy. Frank said that the medical decision to prevent the player from continuing was the right one, but also pointed out that Bergvall was initially chosen as a starter due to his importance in the team's tactical setup. With his exit, the responsibility fell on other players, but this situation further highlighted the lack of options and the difficulty the team faced in maintaining the offensive fluidity it had when Bergvall was on the pitch. Finally, Thomas Frank sought to reassure the fans, stating that despite the painful defeat, Tottenham has the potential to improve, especially with the growing understanding of their new attacking quartet. He believes that with more games and training time, the team will be able to overcome these difficulties and return to being a more creative and efficient side. The manager made a point of emphasizing that his experience with other teams showed that, over time, his teams always managed to improve offensively, which gives him confidence that the same will happen at Tottenham. He called for patience and trust, highlighting that everyone, including the players, is committed to improving. Tottenham's difficulty in responding to the opponent's goal and the lack of energy throughout much of the match against Chelsea exposes a fragility that goes beyond technical issues, touching on emotional and psychological aspects of the team. When a team faces high pressure, like the one imposed by the Blues, and still fails to provide an effective response during the game, it is a clear sign of flaws in its ability to adapt during critical moments. Tottenham showed a clear lack of control, especially after Chelsea's goal, when frustration took over and the players rushed to find an equalizer, failing to organize a cohesive attack. This type of behavior on the pitch indicates a lack of maturity, not only in execution but also in the ability to handle adversity. When a team finds itself at a disadvantage and cannot keep its composure to seek effective solutions, it reflects an ongoing development process, particularly for a team aiming to be among the best in the Premier League. It is precisely in these situations that Tottenham urgently needs to improve if they want to compete at a higher level, as moments of adversity like this are inevitable, and the ability to overcome them is crucial for any ambition of success. The issue of the new attacking quartet's cohesion, although clearly a work in progress, also became a point of tension in the match against Chelsea. Frank has been relying on promising young players like Xavi Simons and others, but the transition to a more dynamic and creative team does not happen overnight. The manager has been trying to implement a more aggressive and collective style, but for this philosophy to take shape on the field, it is necessary for the players to get to know each other better, understand each other's movements, and adjust their timings. These processes take time, and although Frank has shown confidence in the future, he is well aware that the pressure for immediate results is constant, especially when the team fails to translate territorial dominance into goals, something they were able to impose on the opponent in certain situations. Frank's experience with other teams, where he managed to improve offensive performance over time, keeps him hopeful for Tottenham's progress. However, the visible flaws in the last game highlight the need for swift adjustments, as in the competitive environment of the Premier League, the margin for error is minimal. Help us reach the big milestone of 4,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on the notification bell to join our amazing community. Stick around until the end, we've got some epic content you won't want to miss. In the wake of Tottenham's defeat to Chelsea, the Spurs supporters surely have many points to reflect on regarding the team's performance. The underwhelming display made it clear that the side struggled to handle the opposition's pressure, resulting in a lackluster performance without the intensity and energy needed to compete at the highest level. What do the fans think of the team's approach, especially in the second half when the side failed to register a single shot on target? Could Tottenham have responded differently when they went behind, or were the collective and individual mistakes truly insurmountable, making any recovery impossible? Furthermore, the changes made by Thomas Frank during the match have also sparked natural debate among fans. The substitution of Lucas Bergvall, who suffered a concussion, is understandable, but were the tactical shifts and the introduction of other players enough to improve the team's performance? What do supporters think of Frank's choices during the game, particularly regarding Xavi Simons, who didn't start but was brought on later? Is the strategy of relying on young players in development, like Simons and others, seen as a good decision, or does the team need more experience in moments like this to secure better immediate results? Another point of discussion could be the adaptation of Tottenham's new attacking quartet, which is still seeking cohesion. With the attack still far from its best, should fans expect more aggression and firepower against a strong team like Chelsea? Do supporters believe the team is on the right track by betting on young talents, or do they feel the absence of a more experienced player in the forward line to help break down the pressure from top-tier teams? Is the faith in the development of this new attacking unit justified by the fans, or is patience running thin with the ongoing negative results? Finally, with the pressure for results mounting in the Premier League, what do the fans think of Frank's work so far? Does the majority believe he is capable of leading the team to positive development as promised, or is there growing frustration with the repeated mistakes, especially in crucial matches against direct rivals? What is expected from Frank in the upcoming games, particularly in terms of tactical adjustments and changes in the team's approach? Are the supporters willing to give time for the team to adjust, or do the results demand a more immediate reaction from both the manager and the players? Get your daily dose of Tottenham updates right here. Don't miss out, subscribe now and smash that like button to stay in the loop with all the latest news and exclusives. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and join the conversation with fellow Tottenham fans. See you in the next video. Let's keep the Spurs spirit alive.